Hello, my name is Vexen. Today I will show you how to use my datapack template. Now please note, you can find my datapack template in two spots. One on my planet Minecraft. Feel free to go ahead and, give it a diamond and download it and diamonds and all that. And feel to see what my other stuff is too. And follow me and stuff on my planet Minecraft. And after that, there's also my Discord, of which it's linked in my planet Minecraft and on nearly all my videos. So, I'll also give a link to this here. My Discord does actually also have the datapack template, as well as all my other ones as well. It actually has a few hidden ones that aren't actually shown on my planet Minecraft because I didn't bother to upload them. Hidden up data packs of mine. My Discord server is meant for two types of people: those who like my stuff and just want to support it, or see when I post new things, or submit a bug report, things like that, or those who also make data packs and want some help in that, or want my input on it, or just want to hang out, things like that. Anyway, that doesn't matter too much, but regardless of where you download it, once you download it, which you just hit the download button, let me just delete these guys. Once you download it, you just simply save it. Then you go into downloads, and there you go. Let me just fix this real quick. Anyway, so you hit download and you save it in. And I don't need this, so close it. And there you go. You got my datapack template. Now, how do you use it? First of all, you need a testing world. This is the first step to creating a good datapack. So I recommend you calling it test world or something like that. Then what I recommend you doing is either making a super flat world of some kind and making a preset for it, which you can do via some generator websites and stuff, or just going with one of these ones that already exists. Then I recommend you going to game rules, setting keep inventory to on. I always do these other ones just because I feel up to it. Setting mob spawning to off, disabling time of day and making weather not cycle. You don't want to be rained on. And command block output false. And then you got yourself a test world. I would also recommend you setting it to creative mode with cheats off. I'll explain why I set the cheats off here in a second. Now, you create your world, and you're good once it finishes. Now, I'm just reviewing this stuff, just so a newbie can watch this and get an idea. But it is meant for more advanced data packers as well. And then you're here. Now, if you want to, I'm just showing you how I make my data packs. This is how I start one of my own data packs. So, now you simply turn on cheats this way. You can test things that don't require cheats. Like, you want to know what some commands only work if you're in it don't work if you're in survival mode or if you're not in cheats. For example, let me make one real quick. For example, there's tell raw commands, which can be found. Where is it? There. And this generator website, which is what I use to make tell raw commands. You can type something in here, and testing, and then you got a click event like click me. These things are an example of a reason why you would want this. So if you click on this, and it says /kill address. If you do that and you run the click me thing, let me first just give command block. Now, if you don't have cheats and you run that command, what it will do is this instead. What I want to do is you click that bit of text and it kills you. Now, that's the reason why I don't enable cheats automatically on my testing worlds. So you click this and it doesn't kill me because it says it's an unknown command. But if I enable cheats, it does work. This is one good example of a reason why you shouldn't have cheats on your test worlds automatically. You can turn them on at any moment when you need to test something and disable them by simply exiting and re-entering. Now, that's about it for test world setup. I'm sure you can figure out the rest yourself. Now that we need to go ahead and upload our data pack on here, or start making a data pack. Just for example's sake, let's say we're making a small little data pack that just, I don't know, makes a CA over and over. I don't freaking know. I'll show you all the features my template has and how I start making a data pack. So I first extract it, I delete the zip file, and then I rename this to my data pack name, like example. This is an example data pack. Then I left click it and use Open with Code for Visual Studio Code. Now, how you set up Visual Studio Code is quite simple. First of all, you search Visual Studio Code. Look for the one with the blue icon, nothing else. Then you simply hit download. Or you could go ahead and hit this, which will give you what you need. Yeah. Then you save it. Then you run it. And you install it. You hit accept. You go next. You make sure these are on. Open with code. Make sure these are on so that you can easily use it. And then once you have installed it fully, then what you can do is go to your folder, your data pack, left click it, and go open with code. And you gotta open. Now I'll show you the, I think it, open with code. There we go. Now, I'll show you what extensions I have for this. It has a few that's very useful. The first one is datapack icons. I'll set a link to this, and it basically just makes things easier. You'll know you named things right. For example, a function has that icon. A item modifier is that. A loot table has that icon. A predicate has that, and so on. And recipes have that, you know? Quite useful for telling you got the names right. Then there's also another one here. Let me find it. It's a little hidden here somewhere. The second extension I would recommend downloading if this is your first time is... Where is it? Come on. Datapack Helper Plus. This is a second one I would recommend. It's very good in my opinion. Very useful. And those are the two I recommend. But I'm going to have a link to both in the below. Now let's review the features of my data pack. First of all, you'll notice besides the data folder, or data pack actually is, there's this additions folder. You may ask, what does this additions folder do? Well, these are for pre-built-in features for you to install in your data pack, if you so wish, including a whole bunch of useful tags, including like one for every air block variant, everything, one for every cheat item in the game, you know, one for every redstone input, you know, and every non-solid block. This thing took a while, I'll tell you that. Meaning, everything you could walk through, or walk partially through, basically. You know, and then there's replaceable things, which you can place a block in, which I consider easy to break. These are easy to break things, basically. Then there's also even, like, safe, which is blocks that are relatively safe. If I don't remember what safe is for. And then there's see-through, which you can just, are blocks you can see through. And then there's S-water and water, which you can use together, to detect if something's waterlogged or just always a water block. Because, you know, there's all sorts of weird exceptions. For example, if I set a block here to kelp, it's going to be automatically waterlogged because there's no such thing as a non-waterlogged kelp. And if you want to detect all types of water, this is quite useful. So this is for everything that's always water, including blocks of water, corals that can only exist in water, kelp plants, seagrass, so on. Things that only are waterlogged and not waterlogged. And then water here represents everything that can be non-waterlogged. So you can use two if statements on an execute to detect everything that's waterlogged and that. How you would do it is this. Execute if block. And then you would do additions. Hashtag additions. Additions, S water. And then and if block, and then that would be one state. And then you could do it again for the other one. And just put on square brackets on the end is waterlogged. Anyway, there's also entity types, of which there's animals, everything that is a projectile, everything damageable, and then undead. These may not stay updated forever. This is made for 1.19.2, but the template should work later. This I'll explain later. You can ignore it for now. And then there's items, of which include many useful things, like nearly every single block in the game, as far as I can tell. Horse armors, leggings, basic stuff. And as well as that, there's an advancement too. I'll show you what that does too. But this is just additional stuff. But let's just use this. Let's say you want to make a data pack, and it's just and you got 4 namespaces in here. Like, what the heck? How I would start is I would first write my namespace in, my name and stuff here. So this would be a example data pack. So we're going to rename it to example for the ID. We're going to put it as version 1.0.0. We're going to write it by Vexen. And then Vexen. There we go. That's set up. You can also replace path.png with whatever you want, as long as it's square. Now we got our namespace here. So remember, everything named namespace you replace with your namespace for your data pack. In this case, it's example. So now, in the example, you see we have advancements, functions, which comes pre-built with a load and loop function. Item modifiers, loot tables, predicates, recipes, tags of all types. Easy to use, great. Then you also have world generation, which is for everything world generation related. I don't even know what half this stuff does. All I know is the real stuff. There's a dimension one. There's a dimension type. There's structures. Which are basically just structures you save in structure blocks. And then there's world gen, which you can use to do all kinds of crazy stuff. I don't know. I've just left it there in case you want to know all the names you need to do it. So, yeah, but if you don't want to do anything with World Gen, you can just simply delete it. But if you do want to do something with World Gen, all you have to do is quite simple. Drag these and drag them over into your namespace. And then you can simply delete. And you're good. There's it is. Now you have World Gen stuff. Or if you want, I also have stuff for Origins, which is the Origins mod is a data pack based mod, which allows you to basically make races that you can become when you join the game. And so I have the the folders needed for that as well for you to merge in. If you don't need it, just delete it. Quite simple. I'd not recommend keeping them in here for your final data pack. I recommend deleting them and only keeping what you need. Now, the Minecraft namespace is the only one that is required, besides your own namespace. So what you want to do in this one is for load, you put an example load and rename namespace to yours. And now you got load and loop. Say load, say loop. Now, if you do a good old /reload, it says loop, and it said loaded for a second there too, but you couldn't really tell. So if I remove that and then I do a /reload, it says load, as you can see. Now, you can just make whatever you want, but now we can discuss the additions, of which I'll begin explaining them. Now, for the additions, if you want to use them, then drag them into your data folder. And then you're good. No, nearly. You do need to do one other thing to make the additions work. And that's simply to put an apostrophe, and put this here, and type in addition. And then load. And then for tick, do the same thing, except with loop. Well, not leap. Loop. Okay. And now it's set up. So you'll notice something quite easily. Let me just... Alright. Now you'll notice something. Let me turn up my volume here. Hopefully that's good. If I do /reload right now, it makes this a ding and it gives you reload complete. That way, if you do /reload and it's a large data pack and you're on another tab, you'll hear ding. Oh, it's done. Alright. And then you can go to testing. This is especially useful on large data packs. It also makes that it also does that. Reload complete. This is one of the features addition gives. The additions gives. Now, the second feature that adds is this, the tags. So, execute if block. Now, as you see, you got all the different addition tags here added on. Now, we have one other important feature for you, which is going to be very useful, and that's the op menu. You use trigger op menu. You'll see that's there. But if you're in survival mode, that will not show up. It'll only show up in creative mode. Not even spectator mode will show up, so yeah. Now, what this does is if you use trigger op menu, and you're not an operator, let me just prove that by doing this. So if I use trigger op menu and I'm not an operator, and I click this, it says it gives me an error and it doesn't do anything. However, if I am an operator and I use it, it'll open up the operator menu, which will be for settings for all the different data packs that use this feature. Every single data pack can simply add something to the operator menu. It's quite simple even. I will show you how. Let's say you want to add your own personal setting. So op or menu, function. First thing you gotta do is make your op menu function. It could be any name you want and be anywhere. And then, just for testing's sake, let's put this in. Oh, and also, click. Now let's do that here, just for testing purposes. Let's make this good old yellow, and then let's make this a good old gold. And then whenever you click it, it will just run a command to /kill @s. And whenever you hover over this, it's going to say Yep. So now you can simply copy over this, paste in here. Then you want to add this to the operator menu. What you have to do is go to Additions, Tags, Functions, and go to Op menu. Then you press Enter, put an apostrophe, and put in your function name. In this case, it's example, Op menu. And you're good. All you have to do now is do a /reload. And it's complete. And if I trigger Op menu now and I run it, says example data pack. Yep, click me to die. And now you just added something to the operator menu. And now you can just do that for all your settings. All the little settings you want to add to your data pack. And the good thing about this is people in survival mode or without operator cannot access it. Meaning only the server admins can mess with your settings to your data pack if using the op menu. Which means, for example, if you're making a data pack that adds chunk loaders, you can make the operators be able to put a limit on how many chunk loaders can be placed in the world at one time. Or put a limit on how many chunks, or you can make it so admins can choose how many chunks get loaded. And so on. As you can see, it's a very useful feature. As well as that, if you put replace here, it's not going to be compatible with anything else, so don't do that. Just add your own op menu function to the list, and you're good. And that's basically it for additions, except for one other thing, which automatically comes pre-packaged. So if you go to Functions, Op menu, Test, Examples, and you copy this bit of code, and you paste it in your functions, for example, load. Now, in order to get this set up, actually, before I do that, what this is the function run the frequency test you see here. You may be wondering, what does the frequency test do? Well, if I run it for 1 second, well, you may say nothing happened. Well, it did. Look at that. 2021. So it ran additions loop 20 times in a second. It ran additions player loop 20 times, and then it ran test 20 once. So if I run again, you see it counts up really quickly. You can also do a test for 1 minute, but I'm not going to do that here since it's too long. You can also see results for powers, which is for origins only. If you want to use this with origins, simply add this to the part you want to track. And then replace name with the name of your power. Anyway, but for functions, all you have to do is add this to the bottom of your function anywhere and replace this name with the function's name. In this case, it's going to be example load. And then in this function is going to be loop. And this function is going to be op menu. And now if I do a /reload, and then if I open up the op menu again, and if I run a 1 minute test and see results for functions, oh my god, they're all increasing. What do you look at that? What happens if I change what I see? Oh, it adds more functions to it. I hit C function again, it adds 3. And now it's at 3. And hit this again, it goes to 4. If I hit stop seeing and see again, it's going to add another thing. It's very useful. And if I click me to die, it's going to run that if it's a function. If I do trigger op menu, it's going to run test op. And click here, it's going to run another bunch of functions. So it's a very useful thing. Now you can count and debug your functions a bit better. That's the purpose of this, to allow you to debug, even server admins, to see which functions are causing lag on their server. That's the purpose of this. And then if you don't want to see it anymore, just simply open up and stop seeing results. And you're good. That's how it works. Anyway, those are all the features of my additions and my template as a whole. Now that's, actually no, there is one more feature, and that's this. So if I rename namespace here to, first of all, if you want to use this feature, rename the namespace advancement here to your namespace. And then you write your data pack name here. So it'd be example version 1.0.0, and then we'll give an icon like a gold block. Now if we do /reload here, and we go to advancements, we'll see, oh, example, version 1.0.0, datapacks. You know, perfect. And there you go. That's the final feature of the additions. Now, you're good. That's it. You know, so I hope you see the use in this template and how easy it is just to grab it and make it to your own uses. And the op menu I especially like. It's a very well-devised thing, in my opinion. Very useful, even. So, yeah. The function run count has saved me on multiple occasions as well. Especially if I want to make a very lag-free data pack. But you don't need to use it. You don't need to even use the additions. You can simply decide to delete it and not have it be a part of your data pack at all. And just leave things as they are. So anyway, that's it for this video. This has been Vexen. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial showing off my data pack template, and I hope you download it. The links will be in the description. Report bugs to Discord and all that. And I hope you check out more of my things. I'll see you, and bye-bye.